So yes, thank you so much for showing up, for being faithful, and just to go through just to kind of review a little bit why we got together to begin with is we want to help people make $500 to $1,000 a month, or we want to start there ourselves. So you may have people that want to do that, or you yourself may want to do that. And even though I just learned a couple of days ago that we can't really make announcements. We're not supposed to make announcements about how much our people make, even if it's collectively, because it's sort of borderlines on making claims, even though it's not, it's the truth. But what we can say is that we want you to join the club of qualifiers. We want to help you get to sales coordinator with a qualified business. And when you self-qualify your business with 24 trios, that's going to get you a paycheck between $500 and $750 a month. So what we've learned, those of us who've gone to Go Pro, is that there's something called a core rank in Juice Plus. There's core rank in all of network marketing. And that is the basic building block of your business. So that's where you want to help people get in their first 30 to 60 days with a little effort. It will get them to a place where they're making about $300 to $500 a month. And if they repeat this themselves, if they teach other people to do it, they will start to really grow a team. So that's the definition of that. And if you get to QSC, that's the core rank in our business, in our Juice Plus business. And if you qualify as a qualifying sales coordinator or a sales coordinator and above, then you've qualified your core rank. And that's when you really are getting close to that $500, $750, or $1,000 a month. Anybody have any questions about that? No questions? Anybody have comments about that? So
I have a comment, Mary.
Okay, perfect.
I just think it's important to kind of say, I guess, that core rank, usually once you achieve it, isn't something that you have to do over and over and over from the beginning each month. It's typically something that one you can maintain and build upon instead of doing it new every single month.
Excellent. I'm glad you said that, because on my dream team is one of my brothers. He still doesn't take Juice Plus after 20 years, so it might really be a dream. Anyway, but he said to me, he's in sales. And I said, honestly, Tim, it was when we only had fruits and veggies. I said, honestly, Tim, you just need 40 customers on fruits and veggies, and you'll be at a place, because I intuitively understood that was the building block piece, And he goes, so I have to get 40 customers every month? I go, no. One time, get 40 customers. You won't always keep them. I mean, they go away. Some of them, 15% of them, if you're doing good customer care, become your distributors, your partners. But yeah, excellent point, Allison. Excellent point. It's like you don't have to start from scratch. It's like, oh yeah, you've fed them Lay's potato chips. You know that commercial? They can't just eat one. They can't just take Juice Plus one time. They got to keep, when the bottle's empty, they're going to get another bottle. So that's the beauty of what we do, building that customer base. Anybody else have anything to say about core rank? All right, I'm going to put y'all on the spot. Those of you who already make $1,000 a month, if you want to speak up, can you remember, did you do anything special to get from 500 to 1,000? Was there a deciding thing that you did?
Well, I guess I'm trying to remember that. I would say that I did decide to always go to events, whether I had people to come or not. I always went myself, and that wasn't always easy or comfortable, but I think that helped me to get to that mark for sure.
So making a decision like it was the real thing, like the Velveteen Bunny. Now it's real because it's all the furs rubbed off of it. You've done it enough times now, but physically you didn't have to do anything different. You just made a bigger decision, like I'm going to stick with it, kind of a decision. Is that right?
Yeah, you didn't have to call me all the time and beg me. So there we go.
Hey, are you gonna show up? You just showed up and you brought people. So it's an awesome thing. Yeah, that comma makes a difference. Anybody else that has a comma in their paycheck want to make a comment? Help your people.
I would say connection calls was a big part of what helped me increase my income. We learned about them at a conference in Indianapolis, even though I'm sure I was being told to do them before that. And we came back and they told us exactly how to do it and why it mattered. And I started using them, and I noticed significant growth after I used a third party to connect my people with. And it's easier. You don't have to do all the work yourself.
Thank you so much. Yes. So I heard going to events, making a decision, and being accountable, not just doing three-way calls, but being accountable with your sponsor. So they know what's going on. You got them tapped into your people. And that takes a level of trust. That doesn't always happen overnight. So we have to gain that trust. Anybody else want to talk about that comma?
Yeah, it seems like such a long time ago, but I love what Terry said about going to events. I think that was so powerful. And you're right, it was not fun to go all by yourself sometimes. But yeah, you just have to believe that you're there for a reason and you're making yourself better. I knew I was making my family better by the more I learned, but you always thought of new people. And then, going to conference, it was always about not necessarily that I thought I needed to know more about fruits and vegetables in a capsule, but that I had to do it for my customers, to learn from them because it was more education. And you're right, Allison. I mean, it's just huge. Just one more person, telling somebody the same thing. Yeah, there was a lot of that as well because, they know you so well, like my uncle, I remember him specifically, but once I got my sponsor on the phone with him, he got started. So I think it's very important. They don't see you as the nutrition expert.
That's good. That's good. And you mentioned conference too. So that brings me full circle to our assignment for this week, which was actually you get paid for it, which was to register yourself for conference. How many of y'all did that? I'd love to see faces here. This is an interactive call. All right, everybody that I can, did you raise your hand, Jamie? I can't see.
Oh, I invited some people to conference, yes, but not 15.
That's okay. I didn't ask that question yet, but that was the homework. Did you get yourself registered? That was what I was asking.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so here's the thing, Allison, I got your answer about new people coming to conference. They can come and join us on Thursday night on their computer themselves because it's free and you don't have to register for that. As far as Friday and Saturday go, they actually have to be sitting next to you, and that they just want people to be partners. So my best advice is all those people that you're inviting that aren't partners yet, there's plenty of time, not just to get them to Partner Plus, but get them to QSC. I remember when I went the first time, I can't believe I went to conference. Honestly, I didn't have any money, but Michelle asked me 3 times to go, and I wanted to get my VF, which is the same as QSC, done before I went. And so I was finished in 3 weeks. So just know that it's possible. So how many of y'all were able to invite 15 or more people to conference? Okay. I am going to take notes, and I wish I could do this while I was talking. I can't do it while I'm talking. Can anybody put names in a hat and draw one name out? Because I'm going to give $50 away tonight. So if y'all's picture aren't up and you invited 15 people, you better put your picture up in a hurry. Who's going to do that for me? Are you going to do it, Jeanette? Can you do like 3 little pieces of paper or 4, however many people? Raise your hand again if you invited 15 people. And if you're I can't see you if your picture's not up. Oh, so many people are right now.
Jennifer invited also.
Okay, and who else?
Oh, there she is. Jennifer, Terry, Karen, me, Mary, Jeanette. Are you writing though, Jeanette, right? Okay.
Okay, all right. When we,
Mary, is inviting versus confirm two different things?
absolutely, because we're gonna separate that out at conference, but right now we're still inviting. And tomorrow I'm gonna go order t-shirts. Now, I'm not saying I don't want you to quit inviting though, because I'm gonna ask them if I can do a second round, but I need as many people confirmed by tomorrow morning as possible. So you need to let your sponsor know about that. So that was our actual assignment.
So Mary, people that responded on Team Many Champions that maybe aren't in this group,
Well, that's going to be a separate $50 drawing, but because y'all have been showing up for 6 weeks and you came tonight and you did the homework, we had this homework. I'm doing an extra special drawing. So if there's somebody that usually shows up tonight that didn't, and you need to text them real quick so Jeanette can get their name in that, do it so they can show up. All right, just to review now, what we've done already is we've done the training on why you would want to make $500 to $1,000 a month. And I want
I'm
those.
sorry, real quickly, can I just make sure I got everybody? So I didn't miss
Sure.
anybody. Okay, so I have Allison, Karen, Terry, me, and Mary.
and Jennifer.
Jennifer, that's right. Thank you.
What about
Anybody else?
Jeannie? I thought Jeannie did too, but I see her here, but she's not speaking up anywhere.
Did she say that on the chat, Allison?
I don't. Maybe somebody could text her. I'm gonna keep moving.
I can text her.
Thank you. And you can, I'll give a little space before Jeanette draws the name to make sure. All right. So the first week we established why we would even want to make $500 to $1,000 a month. So those of you who are making that kind of money and have for years, like a couple of you said, I can't even remember that far back. If you added up all the money you've made over the years, I know everybody wants to make 6 figures, but probably you've made over 6 figures at least, which is plus. So I'd like for you to make 6 figures a year, but think about that stable and lasting income and what that has made a difference for in your family. So secondly, the second week we talked about AIM me, and the first letter A stands for ask, how we reach it out and we check with people. And today on my GoPro training, we had to make up a row, row, row your boat jingle to that. And so mine is appropriate for this part. So you have to go on Team Many Champions and see what I said. So I hope it gets stuck in your head. It's pretty funny. So we're going to ask people, we're going to reach out. And if you've had a really bad day or a really bad week or a really bad moment, the way I always feel better is I just reach out to somebody and say, hey, how are you? And then they usually ask me back. So that's the first step always, that create that relationship. Then the I is for invite. We invite to events. You heard Allison talk about 3-way calls. You heard Jeanette talk about conference. You heard Terry talk about events in general. We invite people. We invite people to take a look at a video. And then we do the M, which is message or follow up, which is the fortune. That's where the fortune is. And the next week we talked about M for memory jogger. M for memory jogger. So really we start our people with a list of 10, but eventually to get to QSC and beyond, we want them to make the list bigger. And what Michelle Finley told me was that the average housewife knows 200 people. And I didn't want to be average, so I had over 200 people on my list on a regular notebook, because that's I know it's kind of funny, isn't it? And then E is for events. And we talked about events last week, and our big event is conference, and it's right around the corner. So super excited to get t-shirts for everybody, but I'm more excited for you guys to invite people. So thank you for taking it serious, those of you who have, because conference changed my life. Dr. Du Bois on the first video, 15 minutes, absolutely opened my eyes, but conference changed my life. All those stories made a big difference for me. So does anybody have anything they want to comment about? And I'm going to share some notes that I took today from Lauren LaHave, who I think is the queen. And then we'll wrap. Anybody? No comments about the inviting process that it took for you to go through? What you found out? Anything new? Surprises? All right, get your pens on turbo. I'm going to give you this, and then everybody's going to do a just a one sentence what you got from this, and we'll get some sleep, which is one of the core four. One of my health hacks that changed my life, right, Tara? All right. She says that she is all about owning her voice, and she wants us to as well. And now is the time. Wouldn't you agree? If you haven't been able to hear and respect your own voice, now's the time to step into it. She says there's 6 million network marketers in the US alone. And Marina Worry said today that there's a women's event in May, and men can go to it if you want to, but a women's event, because women are the majority of network marketers, but we still don't make the money. And that is a problem. And that is what Lauren LaHave talked about today. And she said the 2 best ways to learn are, Allison, what'd she say the 2 best ways to learn?
Experience and stories.
So don't you agree? That's why our experience events are just rocking it, because people share their stories and they share their experience. It's why I love conference so much. And she said when Tony Robbins, she's worked for Tony Robbins up until just a few years ago for 32 years. So she said the first time he had her do a major training on stage was years ago. And she said, I just don't think I can do it. And this is what he said to her. I brought you here because I knew you would take care of the people, my people. So she encouraged us to tell your story, get the microphone as quick as you can, tell your story, and then hand it to your people. But we've got to make sure our people will take care of our other people. So that's what he said to her. I brought you here because I knew you would take care of the people, my people. So she says she likes to talk about the T's. I'm going to go through this really fast. And the T's are identity. What are my strengths? What do I stand for? What are my non-negotiables? And I wrote down that I honor, one of my biggest non-negotiables is that I honor free will choice. It's been the biggest lesson I've learned, I think, in Juice Plus. And she recommended a book called Self-Made. And she said, isn't it sexy when we have confidence? And so she said to ask ourselves, how do we show up? There's I think it's a book she called Lessons from Queen Esther, how Esther walked into the room in the Bible. When she walked in, even though she wasn't the candidate, everybody knew she was the queen. So you can read the story yourself, she said. She's raw, real, and from the heart. So she'll tell you the truth while she's hugging you. That's what she said. I love that. And this is really profound. You're going to want to write this down. To be a person you are not is to waste the person you are. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times on social media, I think I need to be a person I'm not. And when I do that, I've wasted the person that I am. So another T, so the first T is identity. The second T is certainty. Your feet growing in roots. She uses anchors in her life. Oh, that's in a different T. Never mind. She feels unshakable. So the real deal. So what can you do to feel unshakable? Another T is priorities. The next T is clarity. She got out these goggles. She has swim goggles on her desk. And it reminds her of something that somebody told her, one of her coaches, I think, told her one time about being focused. She said, be like Michael Phelps. So she has the swim goggles on her desk to remind her to stay focused so that those non-negotiables happen. T, another T is simplicity. Keep it simple. I love Eric Worre does that. That's what he teaches. T is accountability. You heard a little bit about that already. It's exciting. Bring your best you. And she said, you don't have to be a completely different person. You just need to tweak some tweaks, but you may never see it unless you let somebody else in your space to be accountable with. And accountability is a big deal. I love the Eric Worre's team. Pat Quinn is, I'd sent in my 2-minute story and I've already gotten the answer back, or my tips back. T is community, good times, even in adversity, because we're going to have adversity and it's no fun to be in the adverse situations by yourself. So we have team, and your best measuring stick, she said, is to take a look in the mirror. Let's see, what else did she say? She said, take action every day. She works in time blocks, and used to be her time block was 10 to 2, where she's laser focused, and you do a lot of practicing. The other thing she uses are anchors. She wears something that makes her feel feminine and carries something that makes her feel strong. That way, she called it something soup. Seminar soup. Isn't that what she said, Allison? Seminar soup. And I thought that was funny. She said, the real deal is when you get into action, not just do the seminars, although they're important. And what do I need to say no to now so I can say yes to something later? That's about wearing those goggles too. She really was big about embracing your identity. And she said the one thing that's going to kill your dreams, what do you think it is? Anybody? Not Allison. What do you think kills your dreams?
Yourself or your fear?
Actually, that's not what she said, believe it or not. She said comfort kills your dreams. If you're comfortable. So she is all about paying it forward, and quality is not always certainty, but it's uncertainty sometimes. So you have to go where you didn't go before. And then I already said that you get up to the stage as soon as possible, you get the microphone and tell your story, and you hand the mic off. Not all actions are fun, but she said, we all love this story about the hero's dream, but action does equal results, and massive action equals massive results. So she had us write some things down. Anything you wanted to add, Allison? And then I'll ask you all a question from your notes.
You had a lot of same stuff I did. I also wrote learn to say no. Oh, you already said that when she told the story about her friend calling, and it was actually easier to say no than she thought. And declare your goal, believe it, know it, don't let limiting beliefs get in your way. It's another one I have written down.
So then she had us write a jingle to row your boat. And so I thought that was a fun exercise. That was our assignment. But what I'd really like for you to do before I ask each of you a question is I'd like you to think about, because the accountability questions, that's a big piece now that you have the tools, now that you know the stuff, now that we've gone through the steps, and some of you've heard it many times, is accountability. And so sometimes that works better in a group of 3, but certainly with your upline. And the questions that are relevant with accountability is, what were you working on last week? And what got in your way? So my question is, think about what you were working on last week and answer the question on paper, what got in your way? Anybody want to share with us?
My daytime job got in my way.
Yeah. I found out that if I think that I can't do something if I only have 15 minutes. It feels distracting to me. So I have to work on that in my brain because I know that's not true. Especially if I have my systems all set up, right? If I'm going to use Teamsy or if I'm going to use Project Broadcast or I'm going to use Voxer, those systems are already in place for me now. So I just have to get in there and do it for 15 minutes if that's all I got. Anybody else want to talk about what gets in their way? Or what got in your way last week?
I think sometimes it's the little tasks, if I get all this stuff done, it's easier to do those things and get so many things done than the hard things that would.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that, Jeanette, because that's one thing she said. Do the hard things first. All right. And then the next piece of accountability, there's 4 questions. The third question is, what are you going to do this week? And who's going to help you get that done? Who can you be accountable with? Who's going to do the 3-way calls? So those are the accountability questions. And now I just want to switch gears and just take a couple minutes to wrap this whole session up. And I'd love to, and then draw the winner. So is there anybody else on here that did 15 invitations to conference? That Jeanette doesn't have your name? Okay, so I would love to hear from all y'all about one, you can either answer the question I already asked, is what you're going to do this week and who's going to help you, or what did you get from this last 6 weeks? What has helped you? What's your takeaway? How about this? What's your action step going to be as a result of the 6 weeks? That's the best question. Let's answer that question. And who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Awesome, Sarana.
So I really like the aim, the ask, invite, and message, and it goes along with the other action step I'm currently kind of taking, and that's that I'm participating in the Teamsy boot camp right now, and I actually have an accountability partner in the Teamsy boot camp, so it all kind of goes together really nice. And so my goal is to really use that aim and get that daily power hour accomplished. And I'm real guilty of, like you, Mary, saying, well, if I don't have 15 minutes, that's not enough to get anything done. So that's my goal, and that's my takeaway.
Thank you so much, Sarana. Y'all are helping me. The teacher learns the most. How about you, Patty Hamill?
For me, the last 6 weeks, it's been good to review just those basics that you kind of get out of the habit of. And so just being consistent with those steps that you took us through. So
Anyone in particular that's going to really kick your butt and help you the most?
I think stepping out and inviting and connecting to people that I haven't connected to.
I know that is the step, isn't it?
Yep.
Awesome. How about you, Terry Schultze?
Well, old dogs can learn new tricks, right? So I liked the bite-sized assignments. So for instance, our assignment last week was to invite in conference, which I've kind of been doing, probably like other people, but to do the real, because I for sure wanted to do 15, minimally. That was, no question. And so, I made that happen.
Awesome.
And I might have drug it out longer. Maybe.
So a sense of urgency. I
Yeah,
love
well, in the assignment. So like, the deadline. I do understand deadlines.
Yes, I've worked off of many of those. For sure. Thanks, Terry. Karen.
Yeah, I would agree with Terry about having that sense of urgency. Definitely helps. Yeah, the whole thing was really great to be able to go through this again and listen to it with fresh ears, with new people that's on, and being able to help them take steps forward. Of course, you want to be the best leader, the best distributor on your own team. And so having people be on with me has been really good for me to make sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that. The leader goes first. Awesome. Awesome. Jeanette, how about you?
I think all of this has been good, everything that everybody says, but I think just the QSC, the focus on, just continuously getting people and making them or helping them realize that, for them to get new QSCs as well. And it's not, I just like how we broke it down and how it's really not that hard, especially, obviously we want a distributor, but they don't even have to have a rep now.
I know, like the old days.
Right.
It's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay, it moved around on me. Kathy Menz, how about you?
I'm sorry, I just got on. Can you say the question again?
Well, is there any one thing that we've done in these last few weeks, because this is our last week, that you're going to take and use for an action step for yourself in your business?
I think just the bite-sized pieces and just being able to do it like one assignment at a time, and to not overthink things and don't overcomplicate it.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Thank you. Jamie, how about you?
Well, I really enjoyed all the sessions. I keep thinking that a big thing I need to work on, that goal would be just to get a little bit better organized and figure out my follow-up process a little better. I think those two things really help.
I'm glad you brought that up. I need to work on mine too. Excellent. Excellent. I know Allison and I were talking about that today. We do a really good job in inviting, and both of us said, well, the follow-up is good too. It's a good thing. So thank you for saying that. Awesome. How about you, Allison? I think you're the last person that has their real face up.
I'm with Jeanette. The QSC focus and figuring out that core rank and focusing on getting people there was good to talk about.
All right. So the only assignment I really have for you moving forward is to do those things that you took notes on that Lauren Lahab shared with us. And to actually, what was that quote she said that I loved the most? And I just want you guys to know this for sure. I brought you here because I knew that you would take care of the people. And I can honestly say that to each and every one of you. I know that you're going to take care of the people, your people, our people. And so I'm pretty proud of you and feel really blessed. And I want you to keep building for conference. And I want you to commit with me that we're going to do our best to help you get $500 to $1,000 a month if that's what you want. And if you're already there, that I'll partner with you, your sponsor. If there's somebody else that can help you, we want to help you teach other people to do that. Get that qualified core rank of QSC or sales coordinator so that they can experience that stable and lasting income. That is a big deal. And certainly it means that you're helping that many more people. And how awesome does that feel when you can help people have stories like those girls told tonight on the Shred 10 call? It's pretty amazing. Anybody with me on that commitment to help other people? Help yourself first. You have to go first. Who said that? Karen said that. You got to go first, and then we got to teach other people. So thank you for being committed. All right. Does Jeanette tell us the names you have? I'll get my Venmo account ready. My Venmo account stays hot. It stays active. So let's do this thing. So who do you have, Jeanette?
Okay, so I have Allison, Terry, Mary, Karen, Kathy, Jennifer, Amy. So I have, right? Did I miss somebody?
Did anybody else invite 15 people to conference already? There's going to be another drawing, so no worries. You still have time, but this time, did you do it? That's it? That's everybody? Okay. Give Jeanette a drum roll. She's going to draw the person out.
Amy.
Amy Ibarra. Where are you, Amy? You have to put your picture on and say something.
I'm in the dark, sorry.
What's your big takeaway for $50?
Man, well, thank you, Mary. I love to keep your Venmo hot.
Yeah, Venmo is hot.
My big takeaway is really just assignments. It works, just the bite-sized pieces, and keep asking for an assignment. If you get them all done, ask your sponsor for another one.
Yeah, we're happy to be bossy with you. No, I'm just kidding. We want to see you succeed. Well, y'all are awesome. Join the club. Be looking for people that we can help get to core rank, that we can help get qualified. You watch their paychecks. We talk about them and we help them take the next step. That's what we do. I appreciate all of you, and get ready to hold the mic, because that's where you start making the money. Thanks, everybody. Good night.